Hi, this is Spencer from WRPB Studios here in South Florida. And with me is Rochelle. Rochelle, welcome aboard.
Thank you for having me.
Glad you're here. You know, as we drive around this part of the world, we see swimming pools all over. And everyone makes these large investments in these beautiful pools and for their kids. And the most important thing, I think, is the peace of mind knowing that your child is going to be absolutely safe and confident in that water.
That's true.
So if I could probably think of the two main things that you do is provide peace of mind for the parents and have a lifetime survival skill for the child.
Absolutely.
So this is so interesting. I know it's your passion and your heart.
It is.
How did you get started with that?
Well, my little guy, when we moved back to Florida and we were building a pool, we decided that we wanted to get him swimming lessons.
Right.
So we signed him up, and I fell in love with the program. Like, I watched him go from being scared in the water to learning how to save his own life in an aquatic emergency. And so when it was time for me to go back to work after being home with him for 3 years, I left behind the high heels and went and got certified for PediaSwim to teach survival swim.
Isn't that a beautiful story?
Yeah.
So you got to experience what it was like.
I did. I've been a parent and I've been the instructor, so I can see both sides of what it means to the family.
So I'm curious about one thing.
Yeah, please.
So education is so important in what you do. How did you come to bring your son, I believe, right? How did you come to bring your son into that instruction in the first place?
I didn't actually know that I was signing him up for survival swim, to be honest. I was looking online for some swim schools, and I took him to a swim lesson, and the lady in front of us, she was swimming in jeans. And I actually asked the swim instructor, can I donate a bathing suit to her? Because I didn't know
Really?
that, when they graduate, that they have to go in winter clothes because aquatic emergencies don't happen when you're ready for them. They happen when you're not expecting them. So in order to
Makes sense.
graduate the program, you have to do it in fully clothed babies in diapers, which makes them heavier. They have to be able to do that roll to float
That's
like
right.
that. And so that's what give me the chill. Still, I've taught 600 kids. It gives me the chills now to think about a child being able to do that and save themselves. It's amazing.
You know, my two boys, when we were growing up in Boca Raton, we had a pool. We were careful to keep the gate. And we didn't know about this. I wish we had. And Adam, my younger, was able to swim when we moved here. Little Teddy was not,
Right.
And Teddy was riding his tricycle around, and I was out there because we're always with him.
Right.
And he went in the water.
Right.
And if I hadn't been there, he wouldn't have had the skills. He would have been panicked. I just went, pulled him out. We had a little talk about driving the tricycle, and I just spent some time with him, getting him a little bit more comfortable so that, he would take his water wings off and
Right.
actually swim across.
Right.
And it got to be a blessing for him. And both boys went on to surfing, and they loved the water.
Awesome.
But it was that peace of mind that we finally had that our kids would be okay.
Right.
Still, the neighbor kids, you don't know. So that is really quite a responsibility for a parent, isn't
It
it,
is.
having a pool?
It is. There are several layers, and we say layers because there should be layers of protection if you think about it. The first layer should always be adult supervision. I mean, the time it takes you to put laundry from the washer to the dryer, a child can drown. It's that quick.
Wow, that's what I did this morning.
Yeah, exactly. It's that fast that this can happen. So the first layer should always be adult supervision. The second layer should be some kind of self-latching gate, self-closing gate,
Yes.
some kind of barrier gate. And then the third layer of protection is survival swim lessons. I mean, it's not just good enough to be able to get into the pool and swim the length of the pool. Kids get tired, and that's when drowning happen. If they don't know how that technique to roll over and float and rest their bodies and breathe, and then rotate back to a swim to look to get out of the pool, that's when accidents happen. And that's why survival swim is so important. They need to know that important skill set of that float is incorporated with that swim.
Yes. So
Yes.
God gave us kind of
Yeah.
natural survivability,
Yes.
the ability to float, and what you do is give the child access to that and
Hone in
confidence
on it
in
and
it.
bring it out to them. That's it. That's it. You know, you just all you gotta do, and that's why our lessons are 10 to 15 minutes, 4 times a week, short, consistent lessons. These are little people. These are just like you and me, but they're just little. Their bodies are a little bit littler, and so you know you have got to really work on that muscle memory and those breathing techniques and everything that you can to get them to that life-saving aspect of that skill.
So, you have a lovely home and a big pool, which you use for instruction.
Yes, sir.
Do you go to other homes?
I don't. Right now, where I just teach all our swim lessons are at my house. I'm the only certified PETA swim certified instructor in my company that teaches the babies. Now I do have 2 other instructors that teach advanced swim and stroke for the older children, so they can grow with them. And we're looking to expand into an indoor facility here in the next 18 months.
Oh, indoor.
Oh, yeah, yes, we're you know, everything's running behind schedule now with COVID, but we're hoping to be indoors within 18 months. But only I'm the only one doing the babies right now at my home. Yes.
So, I want you to just tell me personally about something.
Yes, please.
What is it like when you see this infant who can't even talk get it?
I have, you know, it's amazing. My heart just overflows with joy, and I still get chills thinking about it because I have infants that can't even crawl yet, but they can save their lives if they fall in a pool. You know, it's amazing. So you would just want to make sure that they have that. And parents come to me all the time. They're like, my baby's crying. Are they supposed to be crying? They're screaming when they, you know, we pull up in the driveway. They don't want to do this. And I tell parents all the time, I get that. I totally get that. But I'd rather have a screaming baby on top of the water than a silent one at the bottom of the pool.
Oh, wow.
And so
Let me think about that.
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
you would.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do, you know, in my academy, we do a lot of things to have a gentler approach. You know, in between all the exercises, we play with the babies, we sing to them, we count with them. You know,
Can you sing any of those songs?
Right, I can do row, row, row your boat. No, but we try to do all kinds of different things to get that buy-in. A small high five, a small smile, anything is a buy-in, and that's building trust. You're building that relationship, not just with the parents, but with that baby that you're teaching them. The program is designed to be taught through touch. So even if they're crying and they're not happy with what's happening, you're touching them in the right places and they are learning that muscle memory. And that's how they are learning that life-saving skill.
So, 3-4 times a week.
4 times a week for 10 to 15 minutes each day.
For how long?
4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks. So let me do my math. Say 6 times 4 is
About 24
about
lessons.
20 some
Yep,
times.
yep.
So after that, they kind of get it. I guess you move them along with clothes and diapers and things. So that's a toddler. What is the? Do you have like an age that doesn't make sense for kids?
No. So the PETA swim program that I am certified in, we teach kids from 6 months to 6 years. Now, once they're older, we do advanced swim and we do stroke lessons. That's why I have my true stroke instructors. We can move them along. But after the infants graduate for the Roll to Float program, we do maintenance because as a child grows, their balance changes and they can lose that skill if they don't use it. So we do a maintenance lesson with them once, twice a week, once, twice a month. And then we can get them into the swim, float, swim, which is not just the roll to float, it's the rotation between the float and the swim. So there's ways to grow all the way up through adolescence.
So as I'm sitting talking to you, I know you have such a heart. It was great for your son. You've blessed so many children and parents. But what about you when you were a kid? What was it like? When you learned to swim?
You know, I don't, I grew up in Ohio, you know, I grew up in the Midwest and it wasn't as important then. And it wasn't, I guess it wasn't something that was, you know, that you devoted time to. And I remember going to Deer Creek, you know, our big lake up there and, you know, getting in the water and just running around crazy. And to me, that scares the death out of me. You know, how many accidents happen that, you know, it wasn't talked about as much because we didn't have social media then. So I didn't have swim lessons, and that's one of the reasons why it's so important to me that I can educate as many parents and kids as I can.
Okay, so this little conversation, this interview, is going to get a lot of views. And so what is the one thing that you would say to a parent that's watching this for the first time?
Do your research. I don't care where you go to get survival swim lessons, just make sure that you're going to get survival swim lessons somewhere through a properly certified, skillful instructor. That's what you want to do. You're giving your most prized possession to somebody. You want to make sure that they are skillful and certified in what they are doing.
I'm guessing that even as a parent, if I don't own a pool, this survival skill is going to be so important to them anyway,
yes.
right?
Everybody here, if you don't have one, you know somebody who does have one.
That's right.
And your kids are going to go play, and they're going to want to. Kids are quick. They escape houses and get out. You see kids all the time. You know, my kid, my kid gets out of the driveway. You know what I mean? Like, these things happen. You want to make sure that you're putting this layer of protection on your child.
Absolutely. You know, I was looking at your website, nicely done.
Thank you.
Really neat photos of you with the different kids. It's really special. But you have a section in there that's pretty serious about statistics, mortality rates, fatality rates, I should say. And I just can't imagine what it would be like to lose a child for that. I think it's so important. If you have a child, especially here in South Florida where there's pools everywhere,
Yes.
that you have that peace of mind.
Oh, it's a necessity. It really should be.
So, we're coming to the end of our hour here, and how do people contact you?
Well, you visit my website. I'm Facebook. On my phone number, 772-207-8734, or you can email me at Rochelle@AbramsAquaticAcademy.com.
And let's see, I think we have your website right here
Yep.
on the screen. That's Abrams Aquatic
Academy.com. Yes, sir.
Okay, I got to tell you, I got goosebumps just being here with you.
Thank you.
What you do is so important and such a blessing to people.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming in.
You're very welcome.
Folks, if you have a child 6 or less, make sure that they have the protection they need to be confident to survive, never drown in any kind of situation.
Yes.
Thank you, and we'll be right back.